macroeconomics, I want to bring up your fabulous op-ed in Forbes of a while back where you collegially go after Professor Blanchard. Olivier Blanchard has been a good friend of the show and given us wisdom on the debate and the theory that underlies Janet Yellen and Mark Carney. Here is Professor Keene. General equilibrium has to go. Not only is it no longer necessary, the continued use of the construct by economists is the major barrier to progress in the field. Progress can be made if economists abandon that the economy is a complex system and it is never in equilibrium. Help me here, and this goes back to Meghnad Desai in his wonderful book, Hubris. What does Janet Yellen need to do in a period where general equilibrium is out the window?
Well, first of all, it is out the window because they're still thinking. It's very hard for economists to break away from that mindset of believing that the economy is a system which tends towards equilibrium. It's had a small or big shock, and now we're finally returned it back there. We can get back to normality, back to rates of growth of 3%, rate of inflation of 2%, and rate of interest of 4%, which is the magic set of numbers that are built into all these so-called dynamic stochastic general equilibrium models. And what they're ignoring is the huge accumulation of private debt that occurred in the bubble itself, which peaked at about 1.7 times GDP for America. It's now only down to 1.5. Now, the revival room we've got is just that roughly 20%, maybe 30% of GDP worth of credit, and that's going to run out. And this is what Japan has been doing now for 25 years. And it just shows how long it takes economists to realize the model doesn't work. Help
us after what we saw last week from Chair Yellen. Can a central bank get out front of the debate? Can they do forward guidance? Or by definition, in your world or Olivier Blanchard's world, are they ex post by definition?
They're pretty much ex post by definition, but of course they've got a couple of very large weapons in their hands which they actually want to get rid of. Of course, that's the scale of the excess reserves they've generated through all the QE processes they've been through, and the extent to which they're still on the buy side for bonds, which then encourages the banks who sell the bonds to them to go and want to buy shares, which is what's inflated the level of share prices as high as they are now. So I think they're in I've always called that a pact with the devil, and I think they're going to find as they try to unwind that weapon and raise the interest rate, one, they're going to cause chaos in finance markets.